What's going on, guys? Scar coming at you with another Magic the Gathering video. In today's video, we dive into my Simic kicker deck I did run in my budget deck video. We're going to dive into rank gameplay, kind of see how it does. This deck does run 6 overall rare wild cards, which are the Verazal, the new card from Zendikar Rising, which is X times a green and a blue, which every time we play a spell with a kick across, we can remove remove a +1/+1 counter for each minute, or sorry, remove 2 +1/+1 counters from it. If we do copy that spell, we may choose new targets for the copy. As well as it also runs the Inscription of Insight, which is another news card from Zendikar Rising. It's a 4 mana, choose one. If the spell's kicked, you may choose any number instead, which is essentially an 8 mana possible card. You have to return up to 2 target creatures to their owner's hands, scry 2, and then draw 2 cards, and then target player creates an XX blue illusion token where X is the number of cards in their hand. So essentially, this is a big late game spell. This is a spell that would then copy this, make you then do this twice. And it kind of mixes in a few cards that take advantage of kicker. What we're doing in this deck is also running Roost of the Drakes, essentially a new card from Zendikar Rising, a 1 mana enchantment that by itself doesn't really do anything crazy, but what happens is if you play this spell and kick it, it enters battlefield. If it was kicked, you create a 2/2 blue Drake creature token with flying, and then whenever we cast a kick spell, we get a 2/2 Blake token creature. So essentially it's a token generator deck. And the idea here is you want to kind of combine this also with the Verazal to allow us to kind of like take advantage of having multiple copies of kick spells. So if we can play a kick spell and actually get a copy of it by removing 2 counters from this, we can essentially make additional Drakes to then kind of start swarming the battlefield. We also do kind of run some cards to help ramp up, allowing us to get to that deeper mana. We run Vastwood Surge, which is a 4 mana spell. We have to search our library for up to 2 basic land cards. We get to put them on the battlefield tapped and shuffle our library. If the spell is kicked, we get to put a 2 +1/+1 counters on each creature you control. So what this does here, if we have this out and also the Verazal, it kind of creates this weird combo. So essentially you would then minus 2 counters from this to then play that spell, and then also when you kick it, you remove the 2 counters, but then you additionally put 2 counters on it, and then on top of it you get additional 2 counters on top of it because you'll create a copy of it, then put in 4 lands onto the battlefield, essentially getting a very big ramp. We also have some utility cards here that allow us to make our first kick spell on a turn cost 1 less to cast, and whenever we cast a kick spell, this will get stronger. So this is kind of one of our like things that will get bigger as the game goes on. We play this as a modal land, just a 1/1 for the green mana, or we can play in the battlefield tapped. You know, we got some removal with like into our bounce back effects with Into the Royal. We have Field Research, which allows us to draw 2 cards. If the spell's kicked, we draw 3 cards instead. So a 3 mana draw 2 cards. In the later game can we draw 3. Slade Vision allows us to look at the top 6 cards of our library. We may reveal an instant or sorcery card among them into our hand, put the rest on the bottom of our library in any order. So just a way to get into some deeper spells to look for ways to react to what our opponent's playing. We got Balaged Recovery, which essentially we can play as a modal land, or we can get target card from our graveyard back to our hand. So if like our Verazal dies, if they get rid of any of our creatures and put them in the graveyard, we can essentially just kind of get it back with that. We have the Little Mage Familiar, which is a 3 mana creature that we can tap for blue or green mana, and whenever we cast a kick spell, we may gain 2 life. So essentially we start getting some life gain in the later game. Overall, the deck runs pretty well. It's not the craziest deck. Like, we don't really have any ways to like sweep the board. The only thing we really do is just annoy our opponent by bouncing things back, essentially, is what's the goal here is to do. But if we cast the right spells, have a Verazal out, allowing us to copy spells to do the triggers multiple times, we can hopefully ramp out our opponent and kind of get to the deeper parts of our deck and playing the kick spells. And I mean, with the overall budget of being 6 cards, the deck performs fairly decent. I don't know how it's going to fare against the meta that is currently in the standard ranked play, so we'll kind of play some games, hopefully do win some games. I know it had decent luck in the play queue, but that play queue is different than the rank queue, so we'll see what happens, and let's see how we do. All right, we're on the play. Our hand's decent. We have 3 lands, so we may play one of the modal lands or the blue-black land, or the green-blue land, if I could say any words. Bubble Snare is interesting here just because it is a way to tap down our opponent's creatures if they're aggressive. So we'll keep. I think Thornwood Falls is the turn 1 play, and then probably Tanglewood Floridon as a turn 2 as a tap land, and then turn 3 we got the untapped land. So, and Bubble Snare will be allowed to allow us to tap down any of their creatures if they're super aggressive. All right, so they're playing a mill deck, it looks like. So maybe we get aggressive, possibly. Essentially, they're just gonna try to mill us is the big thing. So All right, let's get in with the gecko. Another rune crab. They're gonna mill us 6 cards, so we'll have to think of a way to prevent them from milling us. But at this current rate, they're gonna mill us well before we can really say go. Play another one and we'll say go. No tax. This does essentially make this cost 6. We could play a bubble snare, which is good. Interesting. On their upkeep, they play that. Maybe they're looking for a land. Maybe they just kept a double rune crab hand. This could actually cost 2 next turn, which is not bad. If I read that, or it actually costs 1, right? Additional 1. 1 blue though. We only have 1 blue, and they're 1 to blue. All right, so we're in a weird predicament because we need a second blue land. Forest and a low mage. No text. Say go. We could essentially not cost. We're 1 blue away still from that. We can play bubble snares, which would then allow us to get a little more aggressive. All right. We are halfway through our deck, and we got to get some damage in, or they're gonna mill us. Is the big thing. All right, they're gonna Madden in. Maybe they have 2 of them. Maybe the kill spell. I don't really know. All right, what do we got here? Might immerse enters battlefield. If it was kick, return target card with kick or ability from graveyard to your hand. Yes. Opponent's thinking. They may have a counter. The question is, do they want me to get some back? I mean, I'm going to attack in aggressively now because they'll have to start blocking at some point. If they have Heartless Act, Vine Gecko can go around that. They just remove the +1/+1 counter. So I mean, do what you gotta do, dude. That's fine. Do what you gotta do. I mean, maybe they're playing rogues. I mean, it just looks like a mill deck to essentially here. We are at 23. Teferi's Tutelage, that's fine. That gets rid of their blue mana here. I mill 2 cards, but they haven't played a land. I could actually bounce both these crabs back, which could slow down their plans. Which actually would be really good here. I don't have enough though to play this unless I draw an untapped land. I need an untapped blue mana source, and then I'll be good to actually get in. Because this essentially then costs just 2 additional blue, so it would be 6 mana in total instead of 8. That's fine. Yeah, that's good. We'll play this for his kicker. We get another island, we get a forest. We'll tap one of those down, and we'll swing in for 10. All right, so they have to essentially mill us this turn. We're at 16. They could still play a land. We'll mill 6, and they gotta draw a ton of cards is what they gotta do here. Right, they gotta make us draw 10 cards. I mean, they could draw a card with the Cling to Dust. They don't have enough graveyard though. They know I don't have. I mean, they may not know I have something. Into the Story. That's 8 triggers, right? So I'm 2 cards away. So they need to make me draw one more time to mill 2 more cards. Do they have it is the question. All right. I mean, I'll just make sure that we'll get through. And then we'll swing. Just on the safe side, you never know. They could have a 1 mana like unsummon or something, and they could still block down, and then essentially we lose 2 mil. Opponent goes first. Our hand's okay. We are missing a land, but we do have a way to, if we can get to 4 mana to search for something, we have things to bounce. Yeah, I guess I'll keep. Just need to draw a land. I know 2 mana hands are always a deadly hand combo to keep. Our opponent looks like to be playing some sort of Azorius, maybe, so I don't think it's terrible. I can double blue yet again, which is another big issue, I think, right now. I mean, our opponent's probably going through their head, oh man, they played a tap land. Like, are they playing like some sort of like Simic, Simic Ventures deck, like budget-wise? I don't know, I actually think this is one of the better tap lands just because you gain a life. I feel like the life points matter more. So I mean, it's not a bad thing that our opponent's actually playing slow, so I mean, might as well also play slow. But I mean, this kind of gives away what our idea is, what we're trying to do. Into Royal is very good. And what's going on? All right. They played that, which isn't terrible. I can play the Bala Ged into play tapped. And I mean, they only have 1 mana, so I might as well play another one of these. And just set up next turn. Because next turn we can play something like Into the Royal with the, you know, the kicker. Draw a card. Sure. That's fine. I mean, drew a second Into the Royal, which is good. I don't have another green, though, which kind of sucks. So, I mean, this could actually be pretty good there. I don't have enough to actually draw a card. This is sorcery. Draw 2 cards. If the spell's kick, draw 3 cards. So we'll just draw 2. All right, there we go. Another boon of the Drakes. So they've yet to show me that they have any like big threat. So that's pretty decent in that sense. I mean, maybe they have a way to you can counter it, I guess, if you really don't want me to play it. Maybe they play like Brazen Borrower? I don't really know. That's cool. That's cool. Maybe they play whatchamacallit? The darn thing that comes into play, fly and lifelink type thing. Banish and light. Awesome. So they're playing like a very Azorius heavy style deck, which isn't terrible. Don't have enough. I guess we play this into play tapped. You let me play my Vine Gecko? It is very scary. It's super scary. I should be have enough because it's the first spell. That's fine. What are you gonna get? An Ugin? I feel like I can get an Ugin, but exile target artifact or enchantment. Oh no! I feel like that's in a weird way a weird play, if that makes sense. I don't know. Might as well ramp up. Get some lands out on the battlefield. Get a lot of lands so we can start kicking some things. If they wipe the board, no big deal. I mean, they don't really have anything to target with Elspeth Conqueror's Death. I mean, they outvalue us with rares. That's fine. They're tapped out, so you can phase it. Whichever one you phase, I mean, they won't get the counters, but the other thing will get pumped up still. I know, it's tough. Do you want to phase it out? That's the question. You don't. Okay. Another. Teferi? End turn. I actually don't want to cast that now as a land, so I'll keep what I have. All right, gotta look for an answer. Can't wipe the board though. That's fair. Target player. Yeah, discard a card or that comes into play. Tapped. And then Teferi's dead. Because he's only at 2. And pretty much all I gotta look for is something to interact with it. I know. It's scary. Sure. I guess we'll go here and here. It's fine.
Think fast.
And resolve. Damage. End turn.
I must have missed.
Yeah, tap it now if you don't want it to happen. That's fine. That's fine. GG's. Yeah, we'll do this. You can't. Four, 11. Oh man, one more. Can I kick this? Can I kick something? I can't. Darn. Let's put you in a predicament though. Discard it. All right, you do. Gain some of that life. All right, you're at 5, 7, 6. Sweet, got to land. Awesome. You're still dead though? Question mark? I mean, I'm just gonna, you know. We're just gonna dig a little bit. You know, just looking for what we need. All right, I'm pushing in. Throw your Brazen Borrower out because you're in top deck mode. You're at 2. End turn. All right, board wipe. All right, you really must have a land. So, or are you just trying to find the answer? Or not? Opponent goes first. Our hand's not great, but I mean, we do have tap lands, so maybe we can draw into regular lands. Like, we have 2 lands that can come into play tap, so we can always play them turn 1. Mono white. I'm just gonna play the tap land, just because. Yes, it's a Tangled Grove with a Tidalon, Fertilon. All right, that's cool. Interesting concept here. I have a weird feeling I have an idea what they're playing. It looks like a mono white style control deck, even before we even get there, just based on the amount of, just based on how I feel the way the control is. Do I want anything in my hand to play? Do I want to play this, or do I want to wait? I'll wait. I'm gonna say there's gonna be board wipes. There's gonna be things to get rid of my creatures. That's fine. You can scry, gain some life. That's cool. We did get double blue early, so that's positive. I mean, I guess I play secondary blue. I'll say go. I'll just be reactive now. You have mana open. We do have things to play. Sure, you gain some life. Just gonna organize my hand. I'll save this for later. I mean, it does cost 4, so maybe in the later they're gonna crack it, I guess. I mean, they don't really have any instant there's no counter spells based on that mana combination. I mean, if they have it, they have it. So if you want to crack your land, put counters on that, that's fine. Or you can draw cards. It's up to you, dude. I mean, I would actually think if I'm going slow as well, you'd want to put counters on this and give me pressure, because I can't interact with it really, because I don't think Into the Royal can target it when it becomes a creature. All right. That's fine. I'll get my 2/2 going. I'll throw you with a 2/2. Ooh, taking 3 life. Wow, that's ballsy. Ballsy. We'll do this. They're not cracking this, so they must have some sort of way to like interact with landfall. Oh, never mind. I guess they're just being very patient. Now they want to draw their card. I'm very surprised they actually paid the life to play the white mana into play. Maybe it's like a mono white Ugin deck. Like maybe an Ugin's gonna come down. Like maybe that's the big play. All right, this time they're gonna just play that into play tap because it's the rare one. I'll just get this back real quick. You can replay your Banish and Light next turn. Let's make the board annoying. We'll get this in a blue. Making sure we hit our land drops, which is always solid. Now it puts them in a predicament that they may want to just play their they may play the Banish and Light again, but it's still fine. I'm not really worried about it. It then prevents them from putting Banish and Light on one of our creatures. I think is the big thing that we take from this. Plus it makes them waste their mana if they really want to get rid of Roost of the Drakes, which is fine. I think it just is, this just becomes more of an annoyance. If I bounce it again, then it becomes an annoyance again. They're probably going to tap 2. They're going to gain some life. We're up to 6 mana. They have 4 mana. Yeah, I guess that's fine. My turn? My turn. We'll play the island. They have a lot of cards in hand. I feel like they have things that are expensive, but they're waiting for us to play something expensive. I'm gonna play this mana guy. I know he's scary. Beware my 1/1. Beware. I mean, I can start making this land big. That's fine. Yay. I'd really be happy if I could draw whatchamacallit. Interesting. They're still not doing anything with that land. Oh, I probably should have played into the Royal at the end of last turn. It's fine. We're just gonna build an army because next turn they're gonna get some pain, I guess is the best way to put it. I know. The thing is, if they let this go to end turn, they should. Yeah, there you go. Do it. There you go. There you go. Nice. And the thing is, they can choose when to actually do it, which is pretty good on their part. And they got a second one. Ooh. I actually think the one's probably good enough. I don't think you need multiple. But I mean, this one still produces colorless. Okay. And you're just playing your hand now? Awesome. Yeah, I know Into the Royal is really, really tough spell. I'll take this. Nice. Vine Gecko is actually really good here too. Vine Gecko into a Vastwood Scourge for the kicker. In a land. And no attacks. There you go. See, this puts them in a predicament now because they're going to see Vine Gecko and be like, wow, that's scary. They're going to hit me at least for 8. They could shatter the sky. If they shatter the sky, that means they have, you know, they may have the shatter. Interesting. I mean, I'll block 1. That means they may have a shatter if they're swinging it for damage and they're not playing their land. They're still looking at that Banishing Light. That's fine. That is fine. I mean, the real thing is they don't realize that if we could draw just that one guy, we can have a bunch of things. I guess I'll get rid of the rest of my library of lands, right? Give them a target to wanna actually target, I guess. And Banishing Light looks really tasty right now, you know? Felidar Retreat, interesting. Is that the card I would have played there? I mean, I feel like they right now have an advantage because we're kind of drawing a little bit dead. We need to draw a little bit deeper. I mean, I've milled all my lands out of my library, so it's just a matter of getting deeper into my deck. But I don't think I have any more lands. Oh, I have a land. But I mean, I feel like our opponent could have taken much advantage of their land. Like, you should have been doing this like every other turn you had open mana. But I mean, unfortunately, we're kind of like, we drew a lot of our good stuff. I mean, we could draw a nice Into the Royal. But the problem is I don't really have an answer for that. You can play it again. You can pump again. I know. It's crazy, right? Science. Into the Royal is good. I mean, I guess I'll keep it and then to go. I mean, this would have been good for them on turn 4. I feel like they're a little late. I mean, they still can get lands, but it's just not as prominent for them to get lands. That's fine. Like, this doesn't target it, unfortunately, so that's like the only problem with it. They didn't choose Vigilance. You could have given your land Vigilance, so you'd still use it as a land. Yeah, I can't target that. Just get rid of that. Let me draw a card. That's not gonna help me. I could have also gotten rid of their Felidar Retreat, but they would have just replayed it. Yeah, that unfortunately doesn't help. Well, I mean, that's something, but unfortunately it's a little bit late. And they just banish Enlight and swing for game. So that's game over there. They don't have to continue playing. But it is what it is. And we are back to the deck. I mean, overall, the deck seemed to perform very well when I did get the right cards. I feel like there could have been a couple cards I kind of wish I drew in that last game. Unfortunately, we did not get to. We didn't get to really see the Verazal at all in any of the games to take advantage of its like ability to copy spells. We did in the one game get to use an Inscription of Insight, which was pretty solid. But other than that, I mean, overall, the deck did perform fairly well for being a budget deck with only containing 6 rares. I think there's a decent amount of things to interact with. I think the one area that this is lacking in, if like they are able to kind of take care of us producing creatures and stuff like that, it does put us in a weird predicament if they start getting a board presence, because we really don't have any true removal to kind of wipe the board out other than bouncing a few things back. As you can see, that the Into the World doesn't really handle the land that gets to pump itself up. But other than that, I would say the deck is a fairly decent budget deck to kind of start out with. This is kind of a fun mechanic to mess around with kicker. Like a deck that kind of focuses around one mechanic is always a fun time. With that being said, guys, if you liked the video, let me know in the comments below what your favorite part was, what your favorite card is of the deck. If you want to try it out yourself, any of that definitely helps out. If you like the video, hit the like button. It definitely helps out the channel a lot. If you want to know when I post more videos, hit the subscribe button. I will catch you in the next video.